How's it going, everybody? Welcome in to another edition of the DynastyVille podcast, brought to you by Ballsville, where we combine poker and it creates great payouts with great odds. So I'm here with my co-host here, JoJo. We're going to be talking some Dynasty. How's it going, JoJo?
It's another day, man. We're in the crunch time now. Just countdown till week one. Week one of the preseason is in the book, so we got some good stuff to talk about. But we're going to really be focusing in on the Ballsville leagues, right? So we're going to get right into that.
Yeah, definitely. So how we're going to do it is we're going to be talking about the leads here. So I think we mentioned it if you caught our first episode. We're going to be talking about the Ballsville games, leads one. One for the heroes and one for the dragons. So there's just to touch up on if you haven't been, haven't seen our episodes or aren't a part of Ballsville. So basically we have 32 dynasty leads, 16 dynasty leads in one division called the Dragons of Dynasty, 16 in another called the Heroes of Dynasty. Basically each division you can there'll be 16 different winners. You can wager at the end, and then there's a big sum of money for the winner of all those leads, and the same thing with the other 16. So we have a couple of leads here. Like I said, we have the first two leads in each of those. So we have the Shinron in the Dragons and the Goku in the Heroes. We'll talk about Shinron first. They're in the Dragons, like I said. But this league actually started in 2023. It already has two winners. It already has two full seasons before this year coming in, unlike a lot of our other leagues, because our dynasty leagues are pretty new. I think Ballsville is a couple years old, but we only started dynasty in 2023. So this was actually the first dynasty we started. But yeah, so here was the startup draft back then in 2023. You can see Patrick Mahomes went first. I mean, he's slidden down a little bit. Josh Allen obviously has ridden basically to the 101. Jalen Hurts is still around. But yeah, there's a bunch of names that stick out to me. Any names that really stick out to you, JoJo, that either shouldn't be there because they're too high, or not that they shouldn't, but that they aren't there now, that they've really risen in value or slid down in value since this time.
Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry.
Yep, Deshaun Watson.
No, and then also Jalen Waddle before Tyreek, and that was like, that was I think that was a little premature because that was his first year coming into Miami, and a little premature for the Waddle guy, Jake T. Nels to maybe go after that earlier. I don't know.
This was the second year. Like, this is after his rookie year, right? Because he wasn't.
Yes, I get that, but with Tyreek Hill coming off, his history with the Chiefs coming into Miami, I wouldn't have probably gone that way. So he obviously fell in value a lot since then. So yes, those are the two names that stick out the most.
Yeah, another name that sticks out to me is Bryce Young. I mean, obviously he hasn't fallen that far, but I mean, if you mid-season last year he did, basically, because he got benched. But yeah, he's all the way up here at the 212. He's not really going that high anymore. Projection. Anthony Richardson, another. This is obviously right after the drafts the 2023 rookie draft that happened. So Anthony Richardson, a lot of people are projecting him to be really high. I think another name, like you said, Deshaun Watson, Austin Eckler, obviously the same team. Blued Hawk missed on some guys. Justin Fields, Deshaun Watson, Austin Eckler, Christian Watson, all guys that really fell in value. And he also has some names.
Kyle Pitts, my good Lord, he went what, tight end 3 in this startup, or
3. Yeah. So those are all names that obviously times have changed. There's a lot of names that people have hit on, obviously, like your Jamar Chases, your Bijan Robinsons are still going up there, Justin Jefferson's, all guys that carry value besides the names we mentioned. But like I said previously, this league already has 2 winners, and those 2 winners are Jerry B 83 last year, and Plus Ultra 1 the year before. It looks like Plus Ultra 1 has had a steady dynasty going there, 2 years, only losing 7 games. Jerry B had basically he's right in the middle of the pack, but he was able to get the crown last year. He has the most points for, or second most points for. But yeah, so I'm also in this league down here at 11, but this is actually going to be my first year in the league because this is an orphan I took over this year. So I got in here right before the rookie draft. that happened this year. But we'll go to the 2023 championship game where Plus Ultra took home the trophy in 2023. Like I said, he had Jake Browning as his starter at quarterback. He also had Josh Allen, some other names to mention. Obviously, had Gibbs and Henry, so he had a good start there. It looks like Play Action Jackson's, stayed true to the name, had Lamar Jackson and some other guys just couldn't pull out the win. What do you think about this game, JoJo?
Week 16. This was in 2023. Yeah.
This is week 16, 2023. I think we played 2 weeks, 2-week finals or whatever, or played 1 week finals in week 16 and then had a wagering week in week 17 or something like that.
But like this, like to have to start Jake Browning and still come out on top, man, like you just had to go into that week just hoping a prayer. So I want to know, like maybe Plus Ultra, like what kind of voodoo magic or who he prayed to come out on top of that one. But obviously worked out for him. Jameer Gibbs and Henry and Evans obviously leading the charge with 3 20-plus performances there helped out a lot.
Yeah, it might just been the person he played because the story will reign true in the next league as well, where Play Action Jackson's also got second again. So back-to-back runners-up. But Play Action Jackson's also, like I said, still had Lamar Jackson. Even had basically 3 30-point games or 4 30-point games. Is that right? Because he had a 30-point game out of Devontae Smith too, and he still couldn't pull it out.
Yeah, especially when you see a Rashad White 4.4 burger there, and he just matched it with his Kendrick Bourne, performance there. But still, like when you see a single-digit performance, you're like, oh, I got the chance here, and then.
It hurt him. He had to start Kendrick Bourne. He also had to play Baker Mayfield, which had one of his greatest games of his fantasy careers of that week too. So, it was a rough one. But congrats to Jerry B 83 on the win last year. I know Jerry B was the wagering champ last year, and I don't remember if it was from this league or not, but I think it was based on his team. So, obviously, I mentioned previously, the winners of all the leads then have a chance to wager the winnings against all the other 15 league winners. Jerry B did that. I don't remember if this is the correct lead or not, but Jerry B not only won this league, but won basically the whole thing for our dynasties last year. So going into this year, we transition to the rookie, where you can check out the rookie draft this year. Shouldn't be really, standard rookie draft, just a couple-year-old league. Any names stick out to you here, JoJo? Maybe you want to touch on? I mean, we already really touched on a lot of these names quite a bit. So. Oh,
yeah, for Rookieville, guys. By the way, if you haven't watched any of those episodes, go ahead and watch them back. We have a 12-episode miniseries. But back to the show here. I'd say, who had – I'm kind of looking at who had what picks and things of that nature. You obviously had quite a few picks here, Connor. So that's just sticking out because you are an orphan into this league. So kind of looking at your picks because they're highlighted here. Obviously, you had a lot of picks in the first round. So I think you should be on the up and coming here.
Yeah. So I actually traded for a couple of these picks. I didn't really – I think I had –
I already had the
102, but then I traded back. I personally traded, not just the person that had the team before me. I personally traded. I think I got the 105 and I got the 104 in a trade too, which we'll touch on a little bit. But one of the names that just sticks out to me a little bit that I think went a little high, or maybe not a little high, just Jackson Dart up here at the 110, I think is a little uncommon, or could be considered uncommon in some of these leagues.
You could say that, but I mean, if she had a true need at quarterback, it's just week 1 of preseason, but he definitely looked the part in a pro NFL field. So
I think this is one of the first rookie drafts to happen too. Obviously, RJ Harvey's all the way at the 201, which didn't really happen in the leagues I was in.
No,
he went first most of the time. So
also how quick after the actual rookie NFL draft this happened and occurred, then can explain a lot of things here, because like how you would draft now, like literally on 8/11/2025 would be a lot different if this was like in May.
Exactly. So just moving on from the rookie draft, which we already talked about, we'll talk about some trades that have happened in this league. Like I said, I made a big deal right when I got in this league, basically, some guy, he said he was shopping Jalen Hurts, and I was like, I'm kind of rough at QB. I went and made the move, got Hurts and Pickens, sold Smith and Jigba, Odunze, a couple picks. Thought I could get that, that QB spot down. Also went and got the 105, which ended up being Travis Hunter. Sold a first and a late second. Some other deals, rolling stop, went and got sold Hall for Jameson Williams in the 202. I don't remember who that ended up being. We can go back and look at who that was. That was RJ Harvey. So he sold.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good, especially where, like we said, Harvey's went. And I think the latest.
And it was your pick too.
Yeah. The latest deal in this league is Shakir for
by Tootin.
Yeah, Tootin. Right here at the very edge of this graphic here. What do you think about that trade there?
It's just kind of lateral. I mean, I was pretty big on Tootin off the rip, but now I've cooled off on him. It seems like Bigsby and ETN might lead that charge and see how Tootin kind of eats into that workload or eats into the carries and the touches. Shakir's high ankle sprain doesn't help things either. So, I mean, it's a pretty lateral move overall. Like, I need a receiver, I need a running back, let's do it kind of thing. I love those kind of deals, though. It's simple, it's straightforward. I hope that more deals like that get done because I think you told me pre-show that this is all the trades in this league over the 3 years or 2 years going into the third year.
No, this is all the trades that's happened since basically from the rookie draft. I don't know. This is.
I was going to say, man, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, this is still. I mean, this league isn't. I've seen leagues with abundance of trades, but this isn't one of those. This has quite a few, but these are like basically since like the beginning of the rookie draft type deals. Another one I want to point out, I like that Tootin deal, especially like it for Jerry B, just because we saw he just won. He's trying to reload, trying to get some more pieces. I think Shakir fits that build a little bit better. But another deal he made was he basically sold the 2 4th rounds, basically a 312 and 412 for Evan Ingram. I really like that deal that he made there.
I was gonna say that too.
Kind of a steal there, especially I don't know if he sold them before he went to Denver, or I guess probably after, looking at where this, because he already has the Denver logo underneath him. But yeah, he got a steal there in my opinion.
100%. But I mean, I really like that rolling stop Hall for Breece Hall.
Yeah.
If you got JMO and Harvey, I think that's a win now plus a win in the future. Just depends on what happens with Breece. I'm just worried about like this workload. I mean, Braylon Allen, he's a pretty good player. And if they're really true about this running back by committee in New York, you're kind of what the Breece Hall side. So Jake T. Nels is kind of hoping for is kind of like, since this is a contract year for Breece, I'm kind of thinking like, okay, maybe he gets a deal with another team, maybe a contender even. So maybe he can thrive at that point. Not to say he can't thrive at this juncture, because I think it's like the Jets are a run first team. But if he's not getting the full complement of touches, I think rolling stop has the better end of that deal right now.
Nice. Yeah, good analysis there. So we'll go from basically those trades and the startup and the rookie draft, and just go into the power rankings. So if you don't know what this is, we'll talk about this probably for every league. This is a keep cut trade power rankings. Basically, Keep Cut Trade is just a Dynasty website where people put in their values for players. And so that's how they get this value. This has nothing to do with the calculator or anything like that. This is completely separate. So any critiques you have,
Connor, I think the Gen Zers, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't do that, but like just the kids these days, I should say, probably call it Keep Trade Cut.
Oh, my bad. What was I saying?
I think you said Keep Cut Trade. It's all good. I just thought it would be funny to say, like, I think the kids nowadays call it Keep Trade Cut, but all good.
Yeah, Keep Trade Cut. But yeah, so they basically, give values to players, and that's how you get here. We got Play Action Jacksons, who's come and runner up twice. I made some deals, was able to get myself into second in these power rankings. 3 stop signs, I believe, is JM Hubs. The Touchdown Trinities over here in 4th, Plus Ultra, Jake T. Nels, PM Benjamin Netanjanu, Rolling Stop, Sarah M21, Jimmy Wojo's in 10th, Blue Hawk, who we saw had a rough basically startup draft, and since is down here in 11th, and Jerry B. Unfortunately, even though he took home the winner, is down here in 12th, which again, these aren't, what's going to happen next year or this year or
No, not
anything
at
like
all.
that. This is just dynasty value as a whole. So you could have older players, which I'm assuming Jerry B does. We'll go into a little bit deeper into these players and these their teams.
Well, at least the top 12 assets on each team.
Yeah, exactly. We'll go in the top 12 assets, and we'll actually take a look at Play Action Jackson's and Jerry B's team a little bit deeper than we would some of these other teams. But so Play Action Jackson's over here in first with a 99 rating, which is pretty high, especially since mine at second is 86. That means he has a clear win over here. So he has two first-round startup value picks with Jamar Chase and Lamar Jackson, and then a bunch of basically second to third rounders and Trey McBride, Bo Nix, Barkley, and then a bunch of picks and some other obviously good tier players. Then we'll move on to my team. Play Action Jackson has a 26.6 average age.
Yeah, it's a little more of a veteran squad. Yep.
Yeah, a little bit, but obviously he's still balling with Lamar and Jamar because they're
Lamar and Jamar.
Yep.
His team's stacked, man. Like that's a scary team. I'm shocked that obviously he was in the finals the last 2 years. So I think he's bound to make something happen with this squad. He's definitely in the win now window.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I really enjoy his squad. Especially with the two-headed horse there with Jamar and Lamar. So
can't get much better than that, my friend. Good job.
For sure. And then you got me. I got a bunch of younger players at 24.5. I think is one of the lowest in the league.
Yeah. 24.3 right there. Oh, wow.
24.5 is mine, and I have a bunch of rookies. And then you see a couple. I got my oldest player on this list is Jalen Hurts. So that's not a bad one to have at that age. Then moving on, you got Neighbors. He also has the same average age and owns his first, so he'll be, I obviously traded my first for Travis Hunter. So, but he owns his first, and he has a bunch of younger players. He has Mahomes, who's 30, but besides that, every player on this list is like 25 or below. And he has his first, like I said. Moving on, we got Touchdown Trinity. I'll hire their faces again. 24.3, obviously, and has his first. So his team's even younger than both of ours, and he has his first. But he probably just doesn't have a couple of guys. Obviously, Sam Darnold and James Conner. That's kind of crazy. He has both of those guys, and his average age is only 24.3.
It's true.
Plus Ultra coming off, he had a win 2 years ago, I think. Still has a killer squad with Allen and Gibbs and McConkey, Derrick Henry. He's bound to push up towards a win or playoff run here as well. Jake T. Nels has a pretty good squad. Drake London, Drake May.
You got the Drakes.
Yep, a bunch of Drake squad. No other, Brees Hall that he just traded for. So
yeah, like that squad tier too. There's just a couple like question marks, but like you just don't know what can happen. Like how the range of outcomes, I guess, is the thing I'm trying to get at. But also Jackson Smith and Jigbo, like we know the talent's there, but you could definitely poke holes in what his output can possibly be this year. Also probably a run first team, Seattle, their defensive team, probably going to be like a defensive and run the ball kind of situation. But I think it should be an efficient offense, right? Like I think all the stuff close to the line of scrimmage is still there, but way he kind of killed last year is that he was getting downfield targets, obviously from Geno. Different quarterback now, worse O-line. It's just kind of interesting to see what Jackson Smith and Jigba. I know the hype is real with him. That's why he's a kind of a buzz player. That's why I want to maybe say something about him real quick here. Sorry about that.
No, you're all good. Yeah, I agree with you there. He has quite a bit of value there. I don't know what his actual receiver ranking is, but he's basically right below Marvin Harrison Jr., right above Garrett Wilson in terms of value there.
Who would you rather have this year? And he has them both because it's actually a good comparison. Jalen Waddle this year or Jackson Smith and
Jigba? Probably Jackson Smith and Jigba.
You're still doing it? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But so we'll go on to PM Benjamin Netanyahu.
I like that name though.
Nice play on words there. He has the same ranking. He's basically tied with Jake T. Nels here with a 75.
75.
And he is a little bit younger at 25.3. He has Justin Jefferson. He has a nice little receiving core with Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Nico. He's obviously first in wide receiver rankings, but what brings him down is he's 11th in QB with only Caleb Williams and Tua. And then he's last in running back with his star running back being David Montgomery. How
worried would you be if you had Caleb Williams and he doesn't perform this year?
Yeah, I'd be, especially based on how much these people have paid for him in most of these leagues. I'd be pretty worried because
is that like a CJ Stroud sophomore like performance? Like, is that in the range of outcomes for him this year?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think. Yeah. I mean, I think there's his range of outcomes vary from Mahomes-esque type season to like you said, a straight CJ Stroud year too. Yeah, to a Zach Wilson.
So. I don't know if it'll be that bad, dude. No, I don't think that would be that.
No, I don't think. I just think that's in his range of outcomes based on how he turns the ball over and how he plays the game. So,
All right. I mean, hey, you never know. It's all about the head with these young quarterbacks too. So, if the confidence is shaken, then yeah, I think that's an unfortunate range of outcome that he can possibly go down. But yeah.
So just moving on just a little bit, Rolling Stone over here with 12th in quarterbacks with his star quarterback at Bryce Young. Mm-hmm. All these guys own their own first. Like I said, there's not very many trades going down in this league. So if you're in this league, let's talk some deals.
There you go.
But no other names to mention. We got Sarah over here, our producer. She has Justin Herbert. Who would have thought?
There's the reason why she drafted Jackson Dart, man. I think she just had no QB2.
Yeah, we talked about Jackson Dart a little bit. He is her QB2. She has a decent little receiver room here with AJ Brown, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Adams. It's not crazy good. It's a little bit older on the older side, but
I think that's a perfect roster right there. If you're kind of feeling like, if this is literally it though, but I mean, you might want to cash in on some of those vets, because they whether it's right or not, they're going to depreciate in value after this year. And if you feel like you're not going to contend, I think this is a team that you blow up with some of that name value that you have with those veteran receivers for these top 6 teams that would vie for a title. So
just a little helpful thing. I think she either needs to try to get some youth in there or go all out and get rid of Jackson Dart, get somebody that can, give you some service this year. That might be a little bit on the older side. Just to, if you're not going to win, there's no reason to be right in the middle. You want to, sell out for the win or, prepare for the future. So
especially if Jackson Dart doesn't start the first 9 weeks, right? Like, exactly. What are you going to do with QB2?
The rest of her roster besides her QB2 is ready to perform, and she has. I mean, we don't know what she has. She might have, a Geno Smith or somebody down there, but I still think. Probably should sell out if you're, or, prepare for the future. Moving on, we got Jimmy Wojo over here, Blue Hawk, like we talked about.
Blue Hawk, that's what I wanted to see his roster.
Yeah, so he still has Fields. Obviously, I mean, not that he missed on him completely, but his value definitely depreciated from where he drafted him. He doesn't look like he has very much. He has quite a few quarterbacks. And he has Puka.
No receivers other than Puka. Like,
And then we got Jerry B, who is our reigning champion, which his team doesn't, I mean, on paper really doesn't look that bad or name value wise. CeeDee Lamb, Jonathan Taylor, Baker, DK. He has an older roster, almost 29 years of age. But still serviceable players, 3 quarterbacks, at least 3, starting receivers and CD, Pitt, Metcalf, Shakir, Pittman. He can start 3 of those guys and 2 starting running backs. So he should, have a decent roster this year. Probably going to compete again. I don't know if he's going to, win the whole thing, but definitely a decent roster to compete. We'll go into the first player in that rankings just to touch on a little bit more on his team, why he actually got that first spot and didn't, obviously most of the names on here, we mentioned the whole starting roster, Lamar, Saquon, Jacobs, Chase, Olave, Devontae Smith, Trey McBride, Chuba, Jalen Warren, I don't think we saw on there, Brock Purdy, Bo Nix. So he has a nice stable at quarterback.
Yep.
And he has Quinn Ewers, Jameis, Nick Chubb, might be serviceable. Jordan Mason might be serviceable. Stevenson probably is going to be serviceable this year still. Jake Ferguson. So his depth isn't that deep. He probably still needs to make a roster move here or there to really edge up his depth.
I would even say his flex spots are very kind of spotty too. Like, I mean, Chuba's still going to be, I think it's going to be still pretty solid this year. But I mean, if you wanted to parlay him with, probably just Warren, or maybe even go with Kyle Williams even, because I know a lot of people like him. You can possibly upgrade that flex spot or two. I think he's going to probably end up using Jordan Mason a lot more than he thinks this year too. So I think there's like one or two moves you can still make with this roster and really solidify that starting spot or starting spot.
Yeah, I agree with you for sure. I think he should make a push, maybe give Olave in a first.
I was saying even with his picks too. So yeah,
he still has all his picks, it looks like. And my biggest move would be trying to upgrade that wide receiver 2 spot or 3 spot. Really that 3 spot, I guess.
Really 3 spot, because I think Devontae is over Olave anyway.
Yeah, I was reading it up and down and not value wise, but I would try to secure that 3 spot with Olave. Try to upgrade that quite a bit. Send the first, send Kyle Williams if you have to. Try to get somebody that's going to produce like, top 12 in the range of outcomes this year. Moving on to Jared B, who again is reigning defending champion. Still has his picks this year. Has an older roster, but still is going to be up there for the hunt to try to win again. He has Jared Goff, Jonathan Taylor, Najee Harris, CeeDee Lamb, Shakir, Metcalf, Travis Kelce, Kamara, Debo, Baker, Dak. So he has another stable of 3 quarterbacks, which we like to see. J.K. Dobbins, Pittman. Who else? He has Evan Ingram, Romeo Dobbs, and his picks. So again, another guy. I mean, he has a little. I would say probably maybe a little bit more depth in terms of overall production this year. Maybe not as high end of talent as we talked about play action Jackson's. But yeah, his depth and his overall starting lineup might be a little bit better, but obviously dynasty value wise, the other guy much younger. But Jerry B, it doesn't really matter if you're young as long as you win, right?
Exactly. I mean, the only person I worry about in that starting lineup would be Najee. How many usable weeks will he have? With the hot shot rookie like Amari Hampton, but I think
I would say he's probably not even. Najee might not even be in his starting lineup.
Yeah, because you can use J.K. Dobbins even.
J.K. Well, he can put Kamara there, and then Pittman Pittman, or like you said, J.K. Dobbins. And I would, if he wants to prepare for the future, maybe sell DK for a little bit more youth, or maybe try to squeeze every penny out of Travis Kelce that you can, or Kamara.
I'd move Goff right now if I was him.
Yeah, Goff is a good one that you can move. Dak even. Kamara, you probably might be able to get a first, depending on how needy the people in the league are. Definitely an early second or so. But yeah, there's definitely some moves that both these guys can make to improve the rosters and really compete for a spot to win. Sure. But yeah, so we'll go into our prediction. Actually, we'll give a little segment about who we think is going to end up in the final, and then maybe give a prediction on who will win the final. Want to go into that, JoJo?
Hell yeah. That's what we're here for. They want to know who's going to win. And here we are going to try to predict the future here. So
yeah, so my prediction is that Play Action Jacksons will actually play Jerry B again. So it'll be a rematch in the final. And I'm going to go with Play Action Jackson will actually take it home this time.
Third time's a charm, man.
Yep, finally get over that hump and take it down. He has a great roster, great overall roster, great star-studded lineup. But what about you? What do you say?
I'm gonna just say that he's gonna probably have more of the misery. I'm sorry, Play Action Jacksons. No disrespect. I hope you prove me wrong. But I'm gonna go with some of those middle of the road teams because I you know what, man? It's just so many times I see some of these teams that just don't have the loaded roster, but win when it counts. And those are the kind of teams that I have here: Touchdown Training and JT Nels. I think they have the teams that are good enough to get into the dance, and then get lucky enough and run hot, down the stretch. So that's kind of the prediction I'm seeing here for this league.
Nice. We'll just go touch on those teams just a little bit more. So
here you go.
I said play action Jacksons obviously had Jamar Chase, Lamar, Bo Nix, Saquon, obviously studded lineup.
It's just absurd when you say those three names at the top. It's nuts. It's so good.
Yeah, and then you said Touchdown Trinity, who has Jaden Daniels, Brian Thomas, Marvin Harrison, Trey Hendo, Kyler Murray.
Solid team, man.
Yeah, definitely, especially
those first 6 names are very solid, and obviously, like the way that this runs hot for him is Marvin Harrison after becoming an alpha. Chase Brown getting that same workload. He's got athletic quarterbacks that can get him a good stable of points. Sam Darnold will rotate in here.
Yeah,
sorry about that, but
James Conner as well, which is another nice
veteran presence there. Yep.
And then JT Nels
across the way. Yep.
JT Nels right over there with the 75 over in 6th place. Like you said, a bunch of Drakes, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Garrett Wilson, Jordan Love. He's going to need some of these rookie or the Caleb Johnson to really produce for him because that's his second running back here. But his receiver core is great. Two quarterbacks who should have the potential to be great. Jordan Love and Drake May. So
yeah, the reason why I like that squad is just I'm big on Jalen Waddle, Adunze, and Drake London this year. I think they're all going to shine. Wilson and Jigba just have to be just do what they do. But also Drake May is getting a lot of positive reviews right now. A lot of analysts love him. A lot of just football fans love him. So I think him taking a step and taking a leap in his second year, I think is kind of where I'm going at with this running hot down the stretch. So
nice.
But yeah, he's got a lot of talent there.
Yeah, and then mine was Jerry B, which we already really talked about, having quite a bit of vets, but we'll move on from that. So that was our predictions. Play action Jackson.
Good luck, guys.
Me. JoJo went with Touchdown Trinity, JT Nels. So if we're wrong, we're sorry, but we just looked at the league, and that's what we thought. So we'll move on to the Heroes of Dynasty. 1 out of 16. This will be Goku.
Do you watch Dragon Ball Z?
I've seen Dragon Ball Z. It's not like I've watched Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I mean I'm in the same boat. I just know a lot of people are all about it, so I just want to see if you were a fan.
But yeah,
you would do one of those little power up sounds that they do. I don't know.
Hummy ha or whatever.
I don't know. I hope you're not gonna put me on the spot because I don't know.
But yeah, so this is a new league this year. So this is a startup actually that started just in 2025. The way we did our startups is we had a derby. If you picked spot 12, you got the first pick in the rookie draft. If you picked spot 11, you got the second pick in the rookie draft, so on and so forth. No third round reversal, anything like that. But so that's how we did all our startups. All of our startups were actually before the rookie draft, and then we did our before the NFL draft, and then we did our rookie draft after the NFL draft. But yeah, this was the first league we did in that section. We got White Knight, Brady D, Sarah, Not Gooden, Freeman C, Jerry B again, Steve Sims, Yanahu 721. I'm in this one again. I actually drafted this team. Grim Darkness, John Legs, and Grizz Tony. So a bunch of familiar faces here. Nothing too crazy stands out to me.
Cooper Kupp down there. I mean, when this was drafted, I mean, it says LAR, so this was before he moved.
And so did Dids before he moved as well.
Exactly. So what was I was just curious to those are guys I would probably been staying away from, but just walk me through maybe the mindset there on those two guys.
Just names I thought. I mean, if you look at the receivers going around them, none of these guys are going to be as serviceable.
Okay.
I was trying to win this year, and I was like, I don't really think any of these other guys like Adonai, AD Mitchell. I don't even know if he's going to be a top 3 receiver on that team. Went a spot before Diggs. The same thing with Coker over there in Carolina. Went right one spot after him. I just thought. Veteran presence. I think they're going to play.
Yeah.
They're going to play. I was like, I'm going to throw a dart, try to give me some veterans. If they don't, I can always rebuild. I got, 2 studs at wide receiver. So,
so actually you make a good point there, man. I think that's something I want to the viewers and even myself to just kind of absorb that because, I think a lot of people get caught up in just, oh, I need young players, right? And I think in Dynasty, it's like I think I mentioned this on the intro episode, is like you just don't want the bomb to fall out. So you're still going to need point production, and those veteran names at this particular point in time would lead you to believe that they would give you that kind of production. I think obviously hindsight's 2020, where like maybe Christian Kirk, seeing where he moved, and maybe Hollywood Brown, recovering from more of an injury and having more of a focal point, maybe making that decision. Those are probably the only other two names that I would probably say like they would be in the discussion around that pick. But and they're veterans too, so it's not like they're super young, but they're younger, but they also have decent roles as well.
Yeah, and like my team was already established as a competitor once Barkley fell to the 404, which I thought was crazy. That's a name that fell, especially that early. I've seen him go in the second round of startups now, which is crazy as well. But he fell there, and I was like, I'm just going to go out. I think after I picked Barkley, I actually traded Jordan Love in my 103, 104 for Joe Burrow. And then I made some other deals, went and got Waddle and Penix as well. But we'll go over here to the rookie draft. Basically the same thing. Like I said earlier, Jackson Dart was the name that stood out to me in the first round of the last draft. He's actually in the second round, but the name that stands out to me this time is Luther Burden over here at the 109. Not that he doesn't have the talent to, just that you don't see that name, especially that early in the first round, most of the time in our drafts.
100%. Yeah, it would be Burden and then Abuka, like going that late, because I think no, actually, no, not that late. I'm sorry. I would say Loveland. It sticks out to me as being like third pick into the second round, a little late. Golden's kind of like on that fringe, so he's cool. I think the other one would probably be Shuck. I still think he's probably a third round pick. I think he's a little early, but again, if you need a quarterback and
are you taking Milrow or Shuck though? Because Milrow,
I'm taking Milrow just because again he has a trait that can lead you to win fantasy weeks if he gets on the field. That's all.
Jalen Royals, I think, went pretty early. That's a second round pick right there. I went before Kyle Williams.
Correct. Other than that, Kyle Williams. I mean, I think he's gone even mid second, so he kind of fell to Grizz Tony, and I know Grizz Tony would love a Kyle Williams.
Let's go with some trades here. We got John Leds receiving DJ Moore and Jonathan Taylor. He traded away the 102, 209, and Jalen McMillan. McMillan also received 2 seconds. I think that's a pretty even deal. Jonathan Taylor, I think, might be a little bit less than the 102, maybe like the 103, 104-ish. DJ Moore, I think, bridges that gap just a little bit. Especially.
So who was at the 102? Was that Omarion?
Yeah, I believe that was Omarion Hampton.
Okay, so you're looking at Omarion. No, it was actually Tet.
It was Tet. So, but it doesn't look like Grizz Tony made that pick either.
Yeah, no, because he parlayed it into Jerry B.
Oh, yeah. So he then made it Najee Harris in the 107, which I don't really love that deal either.
Yeah, go back to the 107. What was that?
107 ended up being Cam Ward. Okay. So he might have been, hurting for a QB. But I really like that deal out of Jerry B, making that deal just, sending
100%
Najee for in the 107 and moving up.
Jerry B's a savvy guy, man, based on these moves that I've seen in the last 2 leagues.
And then Jerry B also made another deal, which I'm not a fan of on his end. Not that I'm, it's not that bad of a deal. He gets Jackson Dart.
Must have had a roster clog situation to give up that many, so he opens up spots. I mean, that's what it looks like to me.
That White Knight did, yeah. Because Jerry B, he gets Russell Wilson, but then gets a bunch of youth and a couple picks, but sends off Dak Prescott, which I think is the best player in this deal.
Yeah,
and then also sends off Joe Mixon, which is a serviceable, pretty good veteran running back if he's healthy.
Where are you at with Jalen McMillan, man? I'm like, I just think that run he had was obviously sensational, but I'm not sold on him as a true asset.
Yeah, as an asset now, he's really
sorry, Jimmy.
He's really the fourth, wide receiver in that room. We'll see what he is before Godwin returns, because if he can, make himself, where him and Abuka are 1A, 1B there while Godwin and Mike Evans, pass the torch. He could be, something, but we'll have to see what he is with Godwin off the field.
Mm-hmm.
And Ibuka obviously coming in. So yeah, we'll just go down the list here again. We got Ultra Instinct, which I think is Grim Darkness. The Conquistadors, which is a crazy name to have. The C-Sims 52. We have my name here at 4th. Yanahu at 721. Yanahu 721. Piccolo Yolo in 6th. Brady D.
I think you give Scott a run for his money on how to pronounce names.
What did I say wrong that time?
I just think it's funny. That's all. Okay. No, I don't think you do anything wrong or worse than I could do, man. Like Yanenho, I think is how I would say it. But
what is
Piccolo,
it?
Yolo.
I said that right, I think. Bulma is a baddie. Whoever Bulma is.
Is she a baddie?
I guess so. I don't know who Bulma
Let's see a pic. No, I'm just
kidding. Jerry B83 is in 9th. White Knight 1988, sorry. Grizz Tony, and then Freeman C 2447. Then Ultra Instinct, like I said, is I'm pretty sure that's Grim Darkness, who's a major contributor in our Ballsville leagues. Got Josh Allen.
Everything's going well, Grim.
Wow, yeah, that's a solid team, especially just coming out of the startup. Josh Allen, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas.
He loves him some Bucky too.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is John Leds over here in 2nd. I'm not even going to pronounce that again. He's over here with a 94.
Conquistadors.
What is it?
The Conquistadors.
I don't think that's what it is, JoJo.
Conquistadors.
Yep, that's what it is, JoJo. But he got Bijan, Amon-Ra, Amarion, T. Higgins, Jonathan Taylor. He has a nice little squad there too, along with his first. A little weak at quarterback, Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson. But then we got C. Sims. All these guys sitting around 25 years of age as well. All pretty close in value, 99, 94, 93. Brock Bowers, Jordan Love, Travion, Travis Hunter. But yeah, nice little teams there. My team's over here with a 90. I got Joe Burrow, CeeDee Lamb, Nico, Saquon, Michael Penix, Christian McCaffrey. So my team's over here with a little bit higher age than everybody else. Like I said, I'm trying to go for the win this year. Yan and Ho. Try that one, 721. That's like the third different way I pronounce that name. But he has Justin Jefferson, Patrick Mahomes, Jackson Smith-Njigba. Nice little team there. I really like his top 3-4 people there. Piccolo.
Where you at with T-Law though, man? I want to hear your take on T-Law this year.
T-Law?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for him just because he has 2 studs over there at wide receiver and an improved team, I believe. A workhorse at running back, or a stable at running back, I should say, not workhorse. Stable at running back with 3 guys that can move in and out. So pretty excited to see if he can really come on. He had a few weeks, was it last year, that he just dominated, but then really settled back into himself.
He had 2 definitely over 20. I know that. Maybe he had something else in between that 15 to 19 range, probably. But I want to hear the Connor 2024 Player of the Year take on Travis Hunter, because I know our boys Ethan and Christopher are going to be watching this episode here, and I know the word vomit of Travis Hunter to them is just it's just great content. So, Connor, do you believe the coach speak of up to 80% of offensive snaps? Where do you think the actual likely percentage of snaps that he plays on offense and defense this year, man?
Yeah, I think 80% is probably his likelihood for offense, I believe.
So you think he will get to that point, right?
I do. I think he was going to play majority dominant offense personally, but I think he's probably going to settle in on defense to about probably 50 to 60% of the snaps on defense.
I'm getting sick of Mike Tannenbaum on ESPN and Richard Sherman going off at the mouth of they're saying like he should not be playing offense, maybe like 5 or 10 snaps, but he should just be playing corner. That's all he should be doing.
But there's other people on the other side of that. There's other people on the other side of that say she shouldn't be playing defense. So it's like
Yeah, but like still, just the extremes are just crazy to me. It's like, why would you think they would have made that deal and move?
Yep.
Sell off.
I think it was Devontae Adams, right? I think it's Devontae Adams said, yeah, he's in a year or two, he's not going to be playing. And that might be true. He might.
I want to hear Charles Woodson do this, man. Like, I think he would be the best person to kind of speak to it because I think he was the closest to playing both ways.
I thought it was Dion, right?
Dion too, but I mean, well, Dion, like the thing about Dion is like he was obviously his coach, and he literally told Liam Cohen, it's like how confident he spoke of him that he can do this.
Yeah,
like over anybody else in the history of the league, he spoke so highly of it. And I mean, I also want to hear Charles Woodson talk on it too, but. Yeah, they were both the closest, I would say. Yes, they were both the closest.
Because Dion played some receiver, obviously.
So did Charles. He played a couple. He had a couple.
Yeah. But I was just talking about Dion because he was the coach, but he also was the punt returner, the main punt returner.
Yeah, same as he would early in his career. Yeah, man. It's crazy. It's just those type of athletes, man. It blows me away. And look, I was on record with another league that's saying it's impossible. And I just had to change my tune. I'm more open to it this year, and in this particular situation. I just hope that 185 pound frame can actually hold up. Hopefully, it bulks up a little bit more in these last couple of weeks here, but I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you there. But yeah, moving on to Brady D. He was pretty active, especially early on in our Ballsville leads. I think he's dialed it back. He's pretty busy now, but Brady D's got nice little stable at quarterback, Lamar and Drake May. He has a pretty mid, couple of mid receivers, Devontae Smith and Jamison Williams, Jordan Addison, obviously suspended, Zay Flowers, Brandon Ayuk. Kamara's the only name mentioned at running back.
Yeah, running back was now, but
Olma's Patty as Jamar Chase, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, nice little starting 4 or 5 there. Roma Dunze, Josh Jacobs, and then Jerry B again with Jalen Hurts, Marvin Harrison, AJ Brown, Ted, Sam Laporta. He must have a pretty average team after that because his first 5 to 7 are nice. Ricky Pearsall, Jackson Dart, Jaden Higgins. We'll move on to the later people here. White Knight, pretty no names of like crazy value here. Garrett Wilson and Ibuka. Grizz Tony obviously had the 101 with Genty, got Puka, Trey McBride, Caleb Williams, Cam Ward, Darnold, then Freeman C, got Gibbs, Bo Nitz, Devon A-Chain, CJ Stroud, Brees Hall, a couple picks, and then a bunch of receivers there. But
veteran receivers.
We'll go into, so I was right. Ultra Instinct is Grim Darkness. We'll talk about his team just a little bit more, what he can do, maybe to improve, maybe try to win, and we'll get y'all out of here. So Josh Allen, Bucky Irving, Kenneth Walker, Tyreek Hill, Neighbors, Brian Thomas, nice little stale wide receiver, nice couple starting running backs as well. TJ Hawkinson, RJ Harvey, Aaron Jones, Baker. No name to really mention after that. You got Javonte.
Roschon, I think, is going to be viable. I think Javonte is kind of – the reviews have not been really positive with Javonte. It's going to be kind of more of the same, at least in my opinion, at least as of this juncture in the news that we received. Roman Wilson's a wild card. Pat Bryant's a wild card. Isaiah Likely just got to get healthy. I think he can be usable, and he's we can possibly even see changing the guard this season if Mark Andrews kind of has a repeat performance, and then maybe they start passing the torch to Likely. So, and I think for this juncture, I think Grim Darkness should be looking to trade off Tyreek Hill, get what you can for him, unless you really believe that he can. He's number 1 right now, right? So at least rated wise, I think it depends on what you believe on him. But the reviews are also kind of mixed too with him, with the rift he created after the season.
Huh, that's interesting. I was going to go the other way a little bit. I was going to go, he probably should try to, or not that he should, but a move that he could make is RJ Harvey, try to get him a third quarterback and maybe a Geno Smith or somebody plus another running back behind that, along with like a Geno or a Sam Darnold or somebody as a serviceable third quarterback, and along with getting his flex spot secured as well, because he has Bucky Irving, Kenneth Walker, Aaron Jones. So I'm not sure RV really fits his squad that well. But you never know. I think his major hole, his major flaw of his team is that third quarterback.
Yeah, no third quarterback here for sure.
I mean, Daniel Jones maybe if he becomes a starter, but I don't think that's going to be a season-long thing that you can count on.
Maybe Cbomb could possibly get moved to kind of upgrade that position. I think he has a good contingent following of people that like him a lot. I think he has good running back depth to where he can still be okay at the running back position if he moves a guy like Kenneth Walker to upgrade that QB3 spot.
That too. Okay, let's go to Freeman C, who is in the 12th spot here. His team actually isn't that bad. I think he's a little bit older. Most of these teams after startup are going to be pretty similar anyway. There's not going to be that measures of a difference because obviously everybody's on the same playing field. But we got CJ Stroud, Breece Hall, Gibbs, Devontae Adams. I mean, looking at this team, if he drafted it last year, it would be probably one of the best teams. Breece Hall and CJ Stroud obviously were, I think, both right around first-round startup picks or last year. But yeah, Devontae Adams, Chris Olave, Deebo Samuel, Mark Andrews, Devon Achane, Chris Godwin, Bo Nix, no third QB. He has Hollywood Brown, Cole Kmet.
His depth is shot, man. There's like you're I mean, he's ranked 12th here, but I mean, one injury to the starter, it's just like you're just not in contention whatsoever.
Yeah, I'll be trying to move Breece Hall immediately. I'll be trying to move Adams, getting anything you can, and Godwin. Those are 3 names I would be trying to move. Breece Hall, you're taking a chance that he, his value could skyrocket again. But
true,
right now, I would say his value likely is it either to stay the same or to go down.
I really only think he has 2 like assets that are kind of virtually untouchable, and that's Gibbs and Bo Nix. I think everyone else is able to be moved, or at least be up for trade. I mean, you're not going to with a concussion risk for Olave, Godwin on PUP right now, you're not going to get dollar for dollar for them. But at the same time, they're definitely up for putting in package deals, though.
Yeah, I would try. I would probably hold on to CJ Stroud as well. I'm not saying he's untouchable, but
exactly, yeah, exactly.
His value is going to be his age and his value is not to where he's a sell. I'd try to, he's likely to peak again, or more.
Yeah, I would say that. I wouldn't say he's untouchable. I think he's in that other tier. He's someone I want to hold, but I mean, if you twist my arm enough and you make a good deal for me, exactly. I can give him up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and with this team, like I said, I'd probably definitely be trying to move Adams and Breece Hall. Will be my main focus. Probably Mark Andrews as well, especially if we think likely he's going to be a starter there. But so moving on, we got a prediction again. Who we think is going to be in this final? I think we both have a couple different names here. I don't remember who you had, but I know who I
think we
have
a same name on.
We had a same name on this one.
I think we have a same name here, and I think he's a familiar guy.
Well, let's go with my prediction first. It's going to be myself versus Grim Darkness. I know Grim Darkness has been gunning for me in a bunch of leagues, so we'll see if he can take me down. But I'm pretty confident in my team this year. I really like my running back stable, which I don't get to say often. I got McCaffrey and Barkley and Montgomery and somebody else. But then JoJo also predicted myself and C. Sims. You want to go into why he predicted those 2 teams?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's just you're going for it with that running back position. I mean, I'm big on CMC. I'm sorry, this year too, and refresh my memory on C. Sims' roster. There was a couple names that I really liked on that one.
He was right around here. Yep, right here. So he had Brock Bowers, obviously.
Yeah, Bowers, and this is also if Rashee Rice is not out for 5 or 6 plus games.
Well, even if he is, you always can make a run, Yeah,
you can make a run. I think he has enough. I mean, the receiver position is a little lacking if he's off the field. If he's on the field, though, if he's only 3 or 4 games, he can still sneak into the playoffs. But those other names on top, he has enough at the quarterback position. He has 3 good serviceable quarterbacks that can start every week. Judy and Shakir, they do demand targets. Trayvon Henderson, Chase Brown, they're both great in the passing game. And if Chase Brown has that workload again, which it seemingly looks like he will have it again, he has a gold mine there. Really next to who was it? Next to Saquon, really who really had a better workload than Chase Brown? I think he was literally probably RB1 in that regard as far as 90+% of everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely. I like his team as well. I think the combination of Allen, Neighbors, and Brian Thomas are just going to be too much to try to overcome.
On paper, I would take that team too all day, but I'm just like a contrarian by nature guy, where it's like, dude, all it takes is 1 week, and when it comes down to playoffs,
yep. So
whether you or C Sims takes them out in the semis, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's going to do it for our podcast there. We're going to actually go into. We'll give you a little preview of what we'll talk about next episode. We went a little long. Then we're going to try to keep these around 40 minutes. This one obviously went a little bit more.
Sorry about that, guys.
No, we're all. So we talked just a little bit more than about some of the things, like we won't have to describe the Ballsville leads again. We won't have to describe like wagering or anything like that again. So this one's going to run a little long regardless. But just follow us along. We'll talk about a couple leads next week.
I believe it's Alduin in Dragonborn.
It is yes. Alduin in Dragonborn. Yes. So next time, our next episode will be talking about the second leads and the heroes and the second leads and the dragons. So unless you have anything else to say,
just calling all gamers in Alduin and Dragonborn, man. If you have something specific for us to cover on that episode, definitely leave a comment on this one or even in the channel for DynastyVille. Connor had a channel created for that, just for that purpose. So we'll put a little disclaimer out there. Maybe like give a heads up on which leagues are going to be covered next. And again, we want the input. We want this more interactive. But appreciate you guys watching this one, and have a good night. That's all I have.
Yeah, definitely. Just like JoJo said, I mean, I don't want to keep these, these episodes cookie cutter to where every single episode is going to be the same thing. But if we don't get any questions, or input from everybody, this is how they're going to be. They're going to be the same repetitive thing about every single league, about every single thing. So if you don't want to hear that, chime in, ask a question, we covered the first league and the 12th league, the team in each league. But if you want your team covered, just say that. We'll cover yours instead, or in addition to. So we can answer tons of questions. If you have a player question on your team, you'd be like, I'm in Dragonborn and I have Jackson Smith and Jidba. Who should I trade him for? What should I be looking for? We'll answer any questions you have. We want to answer questions. We don't want these to be, like I said, we don't want these to be cookie cutter. We want these to be, immersive. We want these to be, things that you can come in interactive. You can talk to us, ask us questions, and we'll answer them. We'll do that, continue out throughout the season, not just about the leads, but about players, about trades, about all the NFL news as well. So,
well said.
But yeah, so without further ado, that's a wrap. I'll catch y'all next week. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Take care.